everybody, Backyard Bullion here. Welcome to this week's Ponderous Wednesday, where we take a thought-provoking and interesting topic and have a good old ramble about it here on YouTube to stimulate some interesting discussion down in the comment section and get some brain juices flowing. This week we are going to be talking about the moral implications of coin flipping and the implications for dealers out there who use potentially morally grey tactics for purchasing coins directly from mints and then flipping them for as high a price as possible. I think it's a very interesting topic. It's one which is quite pertinent in this last week and a bit because of the innovation of science black hole Stephen Hawking commemorative 50p silver proof coin. That's a mouthful in of itself, but anyway, it's fueled my thinking this week about this, and I am in that category as well because I have purchased some of these coins to flip, although I'm a little bit disappointed with this particular one, which I'll talk about as we go through. So, quick disclaimer though, these are just my own thoughts and opinions. I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions, so please feel free to comment down below as we go throughout the video, but bear in mind that what I'm saying here today is not financial advice. I'm not telling you what coins are going to be great, what coins you should buy. That is something that you really need to work out yourself. You need to do as much research as you can to make those decisions. There's no one else that can tell you what to do other than you, so that's very important to remember. Now, the overarching question which got me thinking about this when I purchased this and a couple of the other silver-proof P-Fork coins last week was, what are the moral implications for flipping coins quickly on eBay or on the second-hand market? And, what basically is the Royal Mint and all the other mints out there, are they all contributing to moral corruption within the coin collecting world? I've seen a few different commentaries on some of the dealer tactics, and in fact dealer tactics has been a sort of an area which I've talked about before here on my channel, about dealers hiking up prices as they run out of stock, or if they've bought directly from the Royal Mint in pre-sale, they wait for the Royal Mint to sell out and then they hike their prices up. There are obviously morally grey implications about that, and I've made no disillusion about that fact in the past. It's not something I do with my own hand-poured silver, or even indeed a lot of the other coins which I look to sell. I tend to, if I've got something like this Royal Mint 50p here, I tend to get it and then I'll sell it for the price that I want to get it for at that time. I don't necessarily sell one, wait for the price, hike it up, sell the next one, etc. So there's a lot of information to convey about this, and lots of different kind of permutations on how to flip and when to flip and what the different methods are. But there is no doubt that this was an incredibly hot coin directly from the Royal Mint. It had a very low mintage, this silver proof 50p commemorating Stephen Hawking's, and it consequently sold out incredibly quickly, and we saw a lot of huge prices on eBay. And in fact, I saw in that first couple of hours after it was sold out, there were prices like £1,500 for the silver proof, and there are chances out there who will really try and take advantage of people, and that's just ridiculous. There's a case to be made that people are trying to make a little bit of profit, and if somebody's trying to sell this coin for, I don't know, the silver proof coin for £100, that's not as bad as, it's not as morally grey as trying to flip it for £1,500. That listing didn't sell, but it's still the moral implications of trying to get 1,500 quid for a £55 coin. I don't agree with that. I think that's a step too far. That said, I have bought these to flip, and I have flipped, in fact, 3 of the 4 which I bought. Unfortunately, this one is not good. It has not done well in the quality control department from the Royal Mint. You might ask why. It looks very pretty, and it does look very pretty, but after filming this video, it will be going back to the Royal Mint because, as you may be able to see, there's some horrible toning or a fingerprint or something yucky in this top left-hand corner of the coin. Absolutely shoddy work from the Royal Mint quality control department there. I'm staggered at that. So obviously this one is one which I cannot flip. Fortunately, I will be able to just get it returned and refunded from the Royal Mint. I don't know if they'll have any left to replace, but I'm just going to get a refund, to be honest. And that is the way it goes sometimes. But, that is a shame not to be able to flip this for the profit, because there is no doubt that there is profit to be made. Now, there are a lot of people out there who've been commenting about the moral implications of this and the moral corruption that is perceived to happen for coin flippers. And there are people who will moan about it, and they'll moan about people who do it. And I understand that. I really do get that. It's one of those horrible things where, if you really wanted to have this coin, but you weren't able to get up at 7 a.m. Oh, and I could talk for hours, by the way, about the Royal Mint's tactics in terms of their release for this coin. And, it just wasn't very clever at all. A lot of disappointed customers out there. Anyway, I could talk for hours about that, but I won't. But there were a lot of people who were very disappointed, and those people especially will be frustrated and annoyed that they have missed out and now have to pay quite silly premiums on this particular coin. And I understand that, I get that, I really do. But at the end of the day, there is money to be made, and when there's money to be made, there will always be people who'll jump on board with it. And the question is that really appropriate? Should people be jumping on this to try and make money out of other people who are unfortunate enough to not get ahead of the queue? And from my part, I have to say, yeah, I'm sorry that I've taken a few of these away from people, but ultimately I run a business here in the Backyard Bullion household. This is my livelihood, buying coins, making a little bit of profit here and there. Diversifying my revenue stream for my small business is absolutely critical for survival. And it's something that I do and a lot of other people do. So I'm not making any excuses, but there are businesses out there that do the same as myself. I do like to think, however, that I am not like some of the other businesses in that I will not have it sitting on my stock for 6 months to a year waiting for a ridiculous price. That's not the kind of dealer that I want to be. I don't want to put this particular coin, well, not this one because it's shoddy workmanship and quality, but I don't want to have this sitting on my stock for a year's time, sitting there at £150 waiting for somebody to come along and purchase it for that high price. What I do with a lot of these coins is I will sell them on eBay relatively quickly after release. One thing that I am very, very strict on is that I will never sell it until I have it in hand, because as you've seen, this one with the quality control, not good. And there's a lot of people out there who were flipping this coin almost instantly after having their order approved on the Royal Mint website. Now, all orders on the Royal Mint website at that kind of busy time are all pending to availability as well. So if you've bought that coin, paid for it, you might still not get it. And then if you flip it on eBay, there might be a very disappointed customer at the other end when you finally get your, when you don't get your coin through from the Royal Mint because they've either oversold it or they've made a mistake or something. So, or as you've seen, the quality control of this one is just not good. So, yeah. A lot of kind of people out there do that, and I don't think that's a very good tactic at all. So at least I like to think that I have some ethics when it comes to this, about this. And also, I am quite practical for the kind of prices that I put on eBay. I sold my coins within about 10 minutes of putting them up on eBay because I did some research. I had a look at the time about what prices were going, what prices were being sold, what were the most recent sold items prices, and then I undercut those sold item prices by, I think it was like £7.50 for the Peatforts and £5 for the silver proofs, and almost instantly you get kind of best offers coming through. And eventually I took some best offers which were about £10 less than the asking or the previous sold price, and that's fine for me because I made my profit on them. I got a little bit of a return out of these coins for what I wanted, which is ultimately what I had in mind for these coins when I bought them, and somebody else gets the coin at a hopefully slightly more competitive price than some of the other listings that were out there. So whilst, yeah, I'm guilty of having a little bit of a kind of morally grey question there about flipping a coin, I like to think that I do it in a kind of moral way, at least. It's part of the nature of the world. We buy these coins specifically to make profit on. There is no other way. Of course, with these coins, you're relying on the premiums that they come in at, rather than perhaps gold bullion coins, which you're looking more about the price of the metal content. Of course, though, there are some which will potentially garner good premiums. The 1 ounce Queen's Beast gold coins have certainly garnered good premiums over the course of their lifespan, and hopefully the Yale of Beaufort, the new one, this is one of the first looks at it. I've cracked out the 1 ounce gold Yale to show you here today. Hopefully those will appreciate in price as well, and then it's about finding a buyer for them. Is that morally grey though? I don't think so, because it's marketplace. So this is my kind of counter argument to basically all of this moral corruption question that's going on about people who buy coins to flip or buy coins to have a profit for. we're all guilty of it. If you buy a premium coin, if you buy a collector's coin, if you buy, you know, a Gothic 1947 or 1847 crown, you know, arguably one of the most beautiful and expensive coins out there, you're buying it not for the metal content, you're buying it for the premium, you're buying it because somebody down the line will hopefully pay more for it than you did when you bought it. It is the nature of the world, it is the nature of commodities, it's the nature of anything that you buy as an investment, whether it's stocks or shares or gold and silver or a house even. Is it morally grey to sell your house to somebody for a profit once you've bought it and done it up? You know, there's all of these types of questions that I think a lot of people will just ignore, and they'll see somebody buying a coin and selling it at a premium, and then they'll complain about it. Maybe that's a little bit of jealousy on their part, maybe it's a little bit of bitterness on their part, but ultimately, you know, that's the nature of the world. Of course, there are different tactics which can be employed. I hope that mine are, you know, as kind of transparent and, you know, morally less grey, let's call it, than some of the others. There are a lot of companies out there which will be a lot less clear with that, going from morally grey to morally black, and they'll just try their luck with very, very high prices. And I don't agree with that kind of tactic, especially when they've still got stock in their stock room and they hike the price up as they sell more. I don't think that's appropriate. But at the end of the day, they are businesses and they are there solely to make money. So that is something that also needs to be remembered. There are people out there who do this for a living, like myself, and there are companies out there that do this as a business, and that is very, very important. And I am certainly not one to begrudge any business from making money, and ultimately that is what we all are looking to do. So those are my thoughts / a little bit of a rant about this topic. I think it's a really interesting one. I would love to know your opinions on it. I'd love to know if you purchased this silver 50p proof, the Stephen Hawking one, and whether or not you've experienced some of these shocking quality issues. I mean, just let's have another look at that, because it is just not good at all. Really disappointed with that. And do you know what Rawmint will probably do with this as well? We'll send it back to them and then they'll sell it again to some unsuspecting person. And whether or not that person would then return it, I don't know. You're just going to get a situation where it's eventually going to end up in somebody's hands, and it's going to be a disappointment for somebody in the future when they finally crack it open and have a look. So that's another lesson for you all. Make sure you check your coins before you flip them, because if there's an issue, you need to address it very, very quickly. So there we go. That's my thoughts on the subject. As I said earlier in the video, I'd love to know your opinions on it, so please do comment down below with those thoughts and opinions, and I will try and get back to you all on the comment section. If you enjoyed today's video, please put a thumbs up on it and share it around on your social media. That would be very helpful for everything that I do here on my channel. And if you'd like to see future ramblings on interesting topics, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if indeed you have an interesting topic which you'd like to hear me talk about, then please do suggest one down in the comment section. Otherwise, that is all I have to say. Thank you one and all for watching. As I have said many times before, I hope you all have a fantastic week ahead. And please make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.